Hey, g'day guys, Sam here from Trade to Prosper, giving you another Bitcoin update or cryptocurrency update. And thanks for joining. And for those who haven't, you can replay this and hopefully it helps you out. So what we're going to do is look at Bitcoin, look at or revisit the indicators from the traditional markets and see what they're doing, because there is a correlation. And then we'll look at some indicators from the crypto environment, like USD or Tether dominance, Bitcoin dominance, and so on, just to see how it's aligned up and what is likely to do. And then we'll look at the formations and so on. And anyway, so let's start. Looking at this chart, and if you're familiar with it, on my left, top left, I have Bitcoin. This one here, that's Bitcoin. Here we have number 2, which is our SP 500 chart. Number 3 is our NASDAQ. Number 4 is a US currency or the index. And actually there's another one in there. And that's another perspective for SP 500. And back to the NASDAQ. So we're just really interested in 3 charts here. So let's have a look at the first one, which is Bitcoin, and just see what it's doing. And I did talk about this level of being a resistance, and surely enough, it was perfect big hammer there. Like I said, there's many formations that could possibly take place, but the 200 weekly moving average, and along with the Fibonacci that I indicated back then, is a strong resistance, and it's really pulled back, hasn't it? So I got this circled because it's aligned with the other charts. So I'll come back to that. So what we have here is a nice breakout to the upside and a big rejection to the downside. And what we had, let me just get rid of this for the time being, just explain a few things. If this was an ascending channel, it's safer playing off. What we would like to see is what this area, the mid part of the channel, to actually hold. So this was a channel, and that midline is very important, and it lost it. So it wouldn't surprise me that it comes down to the 618 level here. So what I've done is top to the bottom, I put my Fibonacci on 1 to 0, and the 618 is likely in conjunction with this triangle, or this. Remember I was talking about this last time? We're talking about the strategy, 3 touches, 4 touches, and then a breakout. Perfect. So I did take that trade, and I stopped out, and and a bit of a short there as well. I took my chances and off it goes. So not big trades because at the moment we don't know what's really happening. But you can see how there was a big volume. I can't believe this, but why would people jump in there? Like, it doesn't make sense. There should have been a big volume here. But so these latecomers come in and they don't know what they're doing. Tell the truth. And so you see that big volume, then liquidity. There's a good reason to short. So that doesn't make sense. I really don't get why people will do that. But anyway, I'm to close it there, which I did, and I took the trade in this pocket. So it was a nice trade, and also did a short. So I'm shorting, and I might take some profit there. So this trend line, as you can see, it played resistance all the way through, and you can see the consolidation in here, a bit of a triangle type of thing. And if you use the moving averages, so if you use not my strategy, but a strategy, a well-known strategy, there you go, the 10 and 20 moving average, perfect. It came back down, found the 10 and 20 moving average, along with this 21 weekly moving average as I spoke, and up we went. Now you can see the 21 weekly moving average, it went below it, and it's struggling to hold this level. So it wouldn't surprise me that, yeah, it might go like that, but I still see it coming down. On our what do you call it, Telegram channel, I pretty much said that if it loses this level, it will likely to come down and revisit here, or even further down here to the bottom of this channel. Yep. So what we have is two positions, one there to potentially go back up, or further down. See what happens here. Can't tell you because it fits a number of scenarios where this could continue down. So if this was a macro bear flag, then there's a continuation. So taking a bit of profit here and then waiting for what happens. It might come up here and then back down again. That is very likely to happen. So you might have a second chance when it comes back up here. So what we have, a lot of rejection. That was the neckline. We lost the neckline, and so it comes down. Now we can see this happening in the past. So there's some opportunities to trade here, and going long is probably not a smart thing to do at the moment because there's not enough case to do that. But I can give you a number of scenarios. I'm going to go over those scenarios and look for signs that will give us a heads up on what we're looking for to go along. So with this was my Y. So I had the X, so W, X, Y, the 1, 2, 3, and pretty much looking for A, B, C type of thing. It's always a zigzag, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Just remember the 1, 2, 3s. Doesn't always work. All right. Now, what is likely? What are we looking at if we look at this big chart? So you need to be familiar with the Elliott wave theory and so on. We can see, like, if you see all my scribble there, and I was looking at a number of scenarios, and it's probably time to clean that up. So I'll go to another chart, but that's Bitcoin at the moment. Just for the short term, we have just for now support here, likely to find support, and potentially one of those. But I'm going to come back to this. I'm going to explore I've come up with a few more ideas what could take place here. Okay, so we're going to revisit this, and I can probably tell you why it's going to be this after I revisit the other charts. So I'm going to go back to this one here. Okay, I'm going to try to be quicker than last time. I'll just move this back. Right, here we go. Now we can see the SP 500. And you can see it's in sync with Bitcoin being rejected. Actually, probably it's a good idea for me to just do this. Okay, here we go. If you recall from my last video, we have this fib fan and this channel, fib pitchfork, and the midline was rejection, and it was perfect. So I've got a red candle. It's interesting to say I had that circle there, and the reason why I had that circle, I'm just going to clear this out a bit. You can see when Bitcoin got rejected. So if I was to go, this is the daily, so I'll go to the daily on this one. I'm just going to clean it up a bit, so because it's not going to be easy for you to see all this. And actually probably do this. That does all. Okay, I wish I can isolate that. I've got a few things there, haven't I? So be patient with me and I'll get to it. Right. So if this is the daily, you can see we had an indecision candle, another indecision, and then down. And we're currently on the 21 weekly moving average. Now the thing is, if you look at the candle, the position that got the rejected, it's pretty much in line, sync with that. Okay, so the previous candle, so this is the daily. So it's pretty much in line with where Bitcoin gets the rejection on the daily, this level, and now you see this coming. We're getting a rejection with the red candlestick. Let me just zoom in a bit, and you can see how these all dance with each other. So on my number 4 here, this is the US dollar index, and you can see how it found in the time that got rejected on both of these, you can see the US dollar going up with a big strong candle. I have this one as resistance. Now, if it was to go, I do believe this is going to continue to go higher. So the US dollar is likely to go higher based on market sentiments. We know about inflation. I think the CPI is coming out soon. Can't remember what day it is, so it's not far away. And if the news is bad, this is going to continue to go up, and these will come down. So there's a number of scenarios that we can play. One could be breaking above this, and we can look at that, and that will mean that Bitcoin will also rally higher as well. The Nasdaq is also coming down to, it's got a resistance on the 20. So this is my daily. That I think that's the 50 moving average, or here as well. That is a 50 daily moving average, I believe. Yep, so that's the 50. Yep. So that's coming to resistance. If it was to break this 618 position, so I'm looking at this, the Nasdaq. We've got our A on the 200 moving average. Our B could be here, or it could be here, and back down. So if we, and this is no different to the SP 500, if it breaks this level here, it could be a double top. The Nasdaq, then we have B's here, and so we got A, B, and C is going to be further down. Otherwise, if it breaks through it, the position that it finds breaking above this is also Bitcoin going above, and probably finding it at the 24K range, is in my opinion. And I can talk about that a bit further on, how that's going to work. So if we were to go to the upside, past this position, then they're all pretty much in sync. And this could also mean that this comes down a bit. So we could probably have this position come down and test this top line with the US dollar. So they are all in sync. Now sometimes it doesn't work in such a way that it's synchronized, but in most cases they are correlated. So looking at that is the bigger picture we're looking at in many scenarios where Bitcoin could, the other markets. So we go. We have our potential down like that, or we have the other scenario where we break up to this level and come back down. So if you look at that channel, so if we break that, you can see where our resistance is on this. We've got multiple, so that next layer is going to be another next resistance. I think that's the 618 on the channel. So if we look at it in detail, we don't need this anymore. We just wanted to make that point. Here, if I was to attach this pitchfork, just double click on it. If I make it thick, you can see that's a 618. And you can see the 618 playing along, and it's likely to be, so if it breaks above this middle, the 618 is definitely going to be a strong resistance and come back down. And I do feel like this could be a real good rejection to the downside. And if the market was slightly bullish, then this could be a reversal and go all the way to it could go all the way up, can't it? So if I doubt it, but if it goes, that's a neckline. You can see that's a neckline. So if it was to break above that, we can use that high. They all equate actually. So anyway, if it was to break above that, then we can probably see the edge of this channel to be the next level and then come back down. So there is a number of scenarios. I'm not really favorable for that to break, but if it does, that's the next area that will correlate to Bitcoin's target. And that's why I got this chart always in the background, just keeping an eye on everything to see how they all dance with each other. Okay? And you can see that Bitcoin. Anyway, so that's pretty much what I have looking at those particular areas. So let's look at this is the US government bond, and it is looking bullish. So if you look at it up close, so it didn't even actually come back down. I thought this is so I think this is a wave 3 to 4. So if you know about alleyway theory, anything with strong strides like this and another strong stride, that's part wave 2 to 3. And I'm thinking wave 3 to 4 is going to be a bit of a pullback. I don't know how deep it will go. Maybe there. If this keeps dropping down, then it's likely that others go up. And at the moment, I've got this level of support, and our 3 to 4 could just be like that. And then wave 5, using this Fibonacci method. So I'll use that as the bottom from there to there. And the fib extension, we're going to hit about that 4.5% maybe, wave 5, before we come back down. And then we have an ABC type of correction. I don't think it'll be much, but maybe it will do something like that. And then continue and bounce back off this, potentially. So if that plays out, then we're in a bear market for sure, but we have a relief rally on Bitcoin. Now here we have, I've been actually looking at US Tether for a while, and I thought I'd better apply alleyway theory to it. And and it's making sense, which is scary. So I'm looking at this as a wave 1, 2, wave 2 to 3, wave 2 to 3. This could be 3 as well, all the way up there. But if this is wave 3 to 4, I think it's more likely that this is wave 3 to 4, which is a complex structure, and wave 4 to 5 is the small. It should match wave 1 to 2. So, or like thereabouts. So I don't have the history there, but if we did, you can see it sort of matches it roughly. Even there, it sort of matches. So wave 0 to 1 could match wave 3 to 4 in some ways. But what we did here, if you look closely, what I'm going to do is just remove these ones for short term. I just want to get this out the way. So if this is our microwave, so we've got wave 1, 2, this is pretty much wave 3, you can tell. And if this is wave 4, and if this is going to be our support, and it seems to be support, so we're looking at US tether, then if I apply the same rules with fib extensions, it does come across at the right level. And yeah, so looking at this fib extension, 0 to 1 to that neckline, it's 1.272, 1.414, or the 1.618. So it's a bit scary that it's actually working out to this long-term resistance trend line. So wave 5 could be the top, and that might be our bottom for Bitcoin. So we're coming back down. This might be a relief rally for Bitcoin, but doesn't seem like much. If this comes down more, it'll be nice. But we yet to see this. So wave 3 to 4 at the moment is in action, and wave 5, give or take, it depends on the angle, obviously. We might see, and when we see if it does this, I do see a rejection, and I see that being the bottom for Bitcoin. And if we start seeing this coming down like that, I'm pretty confident to go in deep, put a fair bit in there. So using the US tether. Now, if we look at this alignment, and I've talked about this chart before. So if you look at this Fibonacci from fib extension from there to there and back to the top, 100% pullback is there. And you can also see, scary enough, that there's a trend. That's a trend line at the moment. So if this was to come back down, or come back down like that, that might be it. And that's about 12,000. I'm not saying that's what's happening at the moment, but it might line up with this. So if this was to go up, and this is dropping down, which makes sense, as this Bitcoin goes up, tether drops down and finds a bounce, you can see how it's equaling the tether dominance. So that's another pretty much indicator that might be working for us. So you look, keeping on a few methods. There's a number of ways we can look at Bitcoin and the indicators. Tether is one of them. All right, so now Bitcoin dominance. I'm not sure what it's going to do. So Bitcoin dominance at the moment, like I told you guys in the past, that these boxes is volatility, and it's doing it as well. So I was pretty much confident, and I'm going, okay, that is pretty much volatility. So it's either going to come down or it's going to go up. I have this line, the 618. So if we zoom out, so looking at Bitcoin dominance, I do feel like it's going to go up, but I don't know how much. But we can use the Fibonacci as a 618. This is the pocket, and if this is a double bottom there, as you can see, it's ranging, and it's difficult to make a prediction. But if I was to guess, I think it will go up. I could be wrong. if you look at the indicators and go into a bigger time frame, it's still not clear where it's going with the RSI. It looks like it's getting a rejection at the moment on the 3-day. That's why it's going sideways really at the moment. It's just going sideways. Is this trend line going to make a difference? I don't know. At the moment, there's some upward momentum, but it hasn't passed the 50% yet. So it wouldn't surprise me that we can also go down with Bitcoin dominance. And if it was to break this level, and that I would say that there's a bit of a rally going on to the upside for crypto. While Bitcoin goes sideways, I think the alts might just rally. But it's too hard to use this as a method. It's just the majority of altcoins pretty much it represents, but there's a few alts that I'm interested in, and it probably won't fit into this strategy. All right, so let's look at Bitcoin. Let's look at it from a number of angles, a number of scenarios. Actually, let's see what I got here. So I can close that one. Don't need that anymore. Don't need this anymore. All right, so there's a theory here, and you can see, hopefully it's not hard to see. Actually, I might go to the daily. Daily is probably better because I've talked about this before and on the daily. And I'm just going to point out a few things. Sorry about that with my kids. Give me a sec while I tell her to behave. Just give me a sec. Tell my daughter to be quiet. You got to be quiet. You understand? You have to be quiet. Sorry about that. My 5-year-old tantrum. All right. If you look on the internet, there's a lot of scenarios, a lot of theories. No one knows, right? And all I could do is pretty much point out to you the key levels, and then we watch it. And if there's a reversal, I'll be calling it out. But at the moment, I haven't called it out. This one here, you can see. Oh, my other son. I forgot. So you can see that point of reference. If you ignore this bottom part, which is the COVID incident, it's probably that would have been a good spot for a rally. And then you continue on. All right. So I'm just dragging that line all the way across. I did talk about this scenario matching up with this, and I can revisit this. But what I'm looking at the moment, if the levels are right, we're getting closer. So you can see the Fibonacci levels, and hopefully it doesn't really confuse you. What I want to do is just hide a few things here for a sec. Right. This one here, if I just change the color, give me a sec. And I'll just get rid of the background. That takes the bottom reference from the bottom all the way to the top, and we've got this Fibonacci level. And you can see it's got confluence with some stuff, like the wick there, the support line, and so on. The other one, this one here, is using the bottom of the COVID scenario to the top, and you can also see that this was the main reason for the rejection. Not that one there, sorry. But you can see the next level below is 16,400 or 360. Actually, what I'll do, just increase the colors, and actually I might just increase the browser. Okay, there you go. So the numbers are a bit clearer. And what we have is pretty clear, is a range. And I want to get rid of this. Now, if we look at this chart, you can pretty much agree. If we do this, if we look at from alleyway perspective, you can say that that's 1, 2. You could say that's 3, 4 maybe, and then 5 to the bottom somewhere. That's so. This is definitely, this drop down from there to there is between 2 and 3. All right, it's just a strong wave. Anything strong like this one here, for instance, if we say that's 1, 2, this is 3. It's a strong move. That's wave 4, and wave 5 only goes up a bit more higher. So it's just the Elliott wave method. So the fact that this is a strong move, I'm comfortable to say that either this is number 1 and that's number 2. We're looking for wave 3. If this is wave 3, this could be a rally, and I wouldn't be surprised that if it gets to there, 2,500, and we can talk about that scenario further, or it continues on. There's no limit to wave 2 to 3 going further down, and you can see we've got a number of levels here. We've got that level there, 16,364, or the macro 0.5 Fibonacci. Yeah, we have all these Fibonacci's levels making sense. So hard to understand these charts. Okay. Well, I'm talking about Fibonacci, and if I don't put these layers on top of each other, I can do it. You want me to do it from the beginning? I can do this. Here we go. If it's hard to understand, here we go. I'll just put the log on. There's actually here's a tool for you if you're not sure how to do these things. Elliott Wave. TradingView has actually given a tool to do that. Just click on it. It does it. So Elliott Wave, there you go. So there's different perspectives of looking at this, but in general, it's pretty good. So you can see from this perspective, wave. Let's get rid of this green one first. Actually, we can get rid of the medium ones. Okay, here we go. So ABC. And if I was to just go inverted and enable that, actually just put that on. It was working before. Okay, so what I was saying before, if this is wave 1, no, okay. Let's go white, doesn't it? Let's do that again. If this is wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what it's suggesting. That's one way of doing it. Looking at the bigger picture, you can say that's wave 1, 2. Actually, that is wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can say this could be wave 1 and 2. Wave 3 could keep going down. That's what we don't know. Wave 3 could be here. Wave 4 could be anywhere up there. So we don't really have wave 4 anywhere in this picture. Nothing. And wave 5 is easier to find once we know wave 4. Once we get wave 3, wave 4 is going to be more easy to calculate, and then wave 5 will become more easy to find. So that's the hard part to it. Now, what I was showing before, if it's too complicated from the other chart, the volume is not impressive, number one. If I get the bottom of this Fibonacci, that bottom of the COVID, all the way to the top, 16, give or take, 16,300 is close to it, all right? So that could be our wave 3 here. If this was to drop, if this is a bear flag, we don't know yet. If this is a bear flag, and we can talk about that, again, number of scenarios, but we know that was a bear flag. Yep, and we know that was another. And if you know Wyckoff schematics, that was the distribution structure. That's our neckline. Once we lose that neckline, it's down. So this is a massive distribution, falls in place greatly. There's a number of structures there that I've covered many times over to trade. So what we're looking at is, if this is wave 3, that'll be nice, because we have in the past support. See how price went up? When it pulled back, it found support on this Fibonacci and then went up. So there's no reason why this can't come down one more leg and bounce. All right. The other Fibonacci that we're looking at is from this bottom, right from this bottom back to the top, and we'll put that in a different color. We don't know which one's going to play out. So wave 3 could come down to this one, 14,600. Now, it's going to be hard, isn't it? Because we don't know. This could be a pole. If we use that pole, wherever it breaks from, hold on, let's do that again. If it goes up to that level, it's close to there. So the target of this pole, that's one structure that we can look at. Now the last component, if we do extension to the bottom, to the top, and you can see how this Fibonacci comes into resistance as well. And there's a lot of confluence with this as well. Support the 1.414. So you can see now that and that have a good case together, as well as here as well. So that might be, if it drops, that might be a good level. I'm interested in this level. If this was to drop, this might just go up one more, and I'm going to talk about the scenarios in this one. There's a few, 3 or 4 scenarios that can play out. But if this was to get a rally, the rally could actually go much more than that. If this was a bottoming formation of some sort, it's not just, this is just the first leg of it. It's very short of us to look at it. This will have to go, if this is the bottom, it has to go much longer. And we will know that. And I'm going to talk about this scenario, okay? So if you're interested, hang about, and I can talk about the reversal pattern potentially here. All right, so this is not finished yet, anytime soon. But if it does break and comes down here, either that level, which is a good one, it fits my wick-off structure. And I'm going to explore that one in detail. Other than that, this one here, I don't anticipate it, but you never know. It could probably come down there, and you can see where that comes down to. There's not really much support. There's nothing that really gives us interest in that area, because the previous one is right down here. Really, this is the main strong one there. So, and the bull run really started from here, from this point here. So it might come down to this level eventually, or this one here. So this 5 could be here or there. That's what we don't know. So if we get a rally, we might get something like that. We don't know where 3 is at the moment. Fine. But we're looking for wave 3 to 4. If this is wave 3 here, wave 4, I do think it will go up high, potentially to this level or to this neckline. I don't see it going past this neckline. If this was a position, let's make an assumption that this was a position. If that was a position, what we do is we get the Fibonacci, we apply it to this level, and we go to that level there. Let me just put the defaults. Actually, put SS. Oh. So the 0.5 could be our resistance or the 618. However, if I was to take this further up, the 0.5 could be confluence as well. So that's one level of interest for me, if that was the case. I'll just put that there, and just want to see here if it came. So it's still within the 618, and the other one is pretty much a dead cat bounce, which is the 0.5. So that will be my range if that was the bottom there, and we get a rally. We might get somewhere there. Somewhere in there, we might get a resistance. I'm just playing that simulation, right? And then we get another further down. But guys, we need to be realistic because the inflation rates and so on make it so. Now, if we look at that and go through if this was the line, okay. Not sure what fits there. We can look at other tools. Does that fit there? Okay, we can say if it's in scale, yeah, that makes sense. The trend line could probably be as well. Makes sense. That level is of interest. Anyway, it's just like I said, it's not going to help us at the moment, but this is the approach that we'll take. Now let's have a look at this if you're interested. Okay, so what we have here, this bottom. Now if I add my template, and go to the 3-day, just a few things here at the moment. If you look at this is the level that we had capitulation from that point, and I'll just reverse this. 0.382. There you go. All right, so the 0.382 acted as resistance all the way through, and I'm using. Now I spoke about this. This is the point to this point, right? And you can see how it just rejected at this Fibonacci, and once it broke, it went up. If we were to apply this Same rule here. It's a strategy. If that was the position, let's reverse that. We were likely to see. Hold on, let me just move that away for a sec. Where is it? That one there. So if this was to drop, and we see some support here, then I'm comfortable to see this as resistance, this level, give or take. So we can reverse engineer this pretty much. We can say we can make our 0.3 right there, making this as a resistance like the others, and that level here, 17,000, if that was the model. So if that was going to be our neckline of major resistance, then 17,000, close to 17,000 will be the bottom. Give it, maybe it might wick down to there. And if you look at this one here, I use the body of the candle, not the wicks. Actually, let's go to the daily. That might make it easier. You can see how that becomes messy, right? With all the Fibonacci. So let's just clear up the chart a bit. If you look at this, there's not much really on looking on that. There's some wicks that go above. So this wasn't exactly on, when on the way down, this wasn't actually on the 0.382, but the rest was. And okay, we've got the wicks there. All right, so if we do the same here, so the body of the candle, okay. So if that's 0.382 right there, yeah, we can say that sort of meets 17,000. Now, if this was the bottom, and it's possible, it already lines up, doesn't it, with the 382. Now, here's the thing I want to put in. This is just I guess, this is a bottoming formation. This formation works out to be here. I've shown this in the past with my posts. That is a wick-off structure, selling climax, second test, and then the spring. And it fits this model. Not the best, but it does. And if you look at over here as well, I'll grab this, hold on. If we close in a bit more, this model fits here as well. So we've got our sell and climax, we've got automatic response, and then secondary test. We didn't get the spring. There's a second model that does that, and we don't have the spring. So if you look at the wick off, it works. All right, there's 4 schematics for the bottom, and I'm just using the most popular one. So if we were to have this here, let's just zoom in and bring that in. I like this wedge. So here we go. What I think we're likely to do, this is and if this is an ascending wedge, we'll probably get another move to the upside. This could still be the rejection, so we might just get there and we come down. So that's our sell and climax, which is there. We already have automatic response, AR. Oh, that's our AR, sorry. So all that, and I think I've done it somewhere before, so let me just pick that out. Is this the chart? Yeah, okay, here we go. So this is it there. Okay, so where's that? I can bring that in. So we've got that at the moment, give or take. We don't know what's going to happen. It could do a double top, but we already got the high, which is there. We already got that, and the 200 moving average along with the 4 hour 200 perfect position rejection. In many cases, you can have a double top, but I'd find it unlikely. I think it'll get rejected and come down. That will give us our secondary test. So what do we have? Here we go. So it can, and it's allowable in this model, it's allowable for it to go lower than this point. It could be at the same position or lower. And based on Wyckoff structure, we can get another, so we'll get a double bottom potentially. There's that possibility that it's not the bottom, and therefore if this is a selling climax, then remember we talked about the 16,400 or 14,000 something. That could be the selling climax if this is a bear flag. So there is no way of knowing that. But if this was the bottom and we find support here and it does go back up, then I'm comfortable to go long. And yeah, so if this was to get back up and knock back there, I find that this structure is coming into play. Otherwise, it should just drop because we spent a fair bit of time, very much similar to this, where it's negated to be either a bear flag or part of a accumulation structure. So we don't know until we get tested. So we want to see it get tested here. And if we find support if it comes down, so this might still go up a bit and come back down. And if it doesn't get support and goes down, then we know the Wyckoff structure is not here, but further down. And that's when we're going to see what this structure takes place. So at the moment, there's a theory, and we measure it. Which platform I'm using? TradingView. What do you mean by which platform? Please be specific in terms of platform. I don't know what that means. Now, so I hope you guys understand that we have a plan. We have a few scenarios. Currently, it's filling in the position of a wedge, and it's filling in the schematic of this structure. There's this first half. So what do we do? So that's our PS there. So what we've seen so far is potentially just that. Yeah. And if it drops down, we're going to see that. And I'm going to show you other charts that will equate to this very much. Matic has already done this, I think. And I'm going to show you that. That's one of the things I'm looking at. But I think I've covered it enough to give you a perspective of if it's accumulation or bear flag based on this bottom. So I don't think this is going to go further high, and I could be wrong, but that is definitely the main resistance level, and this is the next one. So if we see this go above, could be a fake out before it goes down, but you want to see the daily candle close above. Don't worry about the wick. We want to see the candle close, the daily candle close above to be confident that there is something going on. Now you can look at previous models here where you go, okay, that's a selling climax, but you can see that it's just not really a wave 2 to 3 at the moment. It's just like, okay, wave 2 to 3 is usually longer. So there's another chart I'm going to show you. Give me a sec. Is this the one? That's a life cycle. I don't know if I spoke about that before. So we can get, give me a sec. Right. Like I said, there's some moving averages around here as well. The 300 moving average is also about 16,000 or 17,000. Now, if we get this, not that one. Where do I get it from again? Is that the one? Okay. So in the past, I did show this. This is the early wave cycle. So that was the top that matches this one here. Matches this level. This second stage is this. Sorry, this level here. This third stage, actually, sorry, this is that level there. The circle. This stage represents here. Then we had this stage, and this stage is a long one. You can see. So does it equate to that? Could be. That's the hard part. And if it is, that's fine. It matches it. And then we've got the accumulation. And I believe the accumulation's somewhere in there. All right. I do believe that's going to be the accumulation. But it also, so what I'm pointing out is that it fits the Wyckoff structure. Similarly here, if this were accumulation on the way up, like that, this phase is probably there. This is accumulation, so that's that phase. You can say, maybe you can say that's that. This is just off. That's just pretty much off. But you can see the main run is that, and we had that. You can align it. You can read it any way you want. It does feel like that we are close to the bottom. But again, if this is a bear flag, then you want to get it here. You really do want to get it there, and it's a fair bit. But we'll know from these two if that holds it up. 16,400 is my likely entry. That's the 300 moving average. So that's what I'm looking at the moment. Okay, so that covers that. Moving averages are also coming in line with this. So what? Give me a sec while I delete these. I want to see what the indicators show us on the weekly. Okay. Let's just flip this. It's not letting me. Okay. Interesting. How annoying is that? Let me just refresh that. Sometimes it does that. The browser's a bit banged up. Right. Now, if we look at these indicators, it is still bearish. That's showing me there's some bullish divergence with these dots, but it's still not. There's no momentum to the upside. It's pretty much the opposite of this, really. When this is down there, it's pretty much very bearish, actually. However, in my last stream, I did talk about the stochastic, the wave, and this one as well. And if we look at it, number of indicators, you can see when it crosses over, it's a good sign. But what we want to see is it get above this level here. So even this crosses over. It's not crossing over yet. It's still a week. So we're early in the week. We want to see it close. If this goes bearish, well, this will get undone. It won't cross over. But we can use this line here as a means to measure the breakout. So if there's accumulation, we can probably use that as well. So that's one way of looking at it. See if it breaks that line. That's on the weekly. I like to see if it's going above this level, the stochastic, then I see bullish momentum to the upside. It needs to break that. Just pretty much historically, this level has shown. Anytime it's above this level, it's gone bullish on the weekly. So every time it goes above, or goes down, it goes bearish. You can see how bearish it goes. So this is where it capitulated, really. It's showing a bit of momentum to the upside, and so stochastic, I'm looking at to break this level. I'm looking this to go above this level, and also I'm looking for this to go above 50% the green. If I have a number of them that agree, one or two agree, then it's great. I have the RSI as well. So I'm looking at this carefully. This could go sideways forever, and that could keep dropping. So if it still drops, these guys aren't going to make any difference, really. So what we want to see is it break key levels. So I'm using these indicators. Besides formation and structure and candlesticks, I'm looking for the indicators to confirm as well. So these are all freely available on TradingView, so you can get them. I just modified it a bit for crossover or whatever it is, or different colors, but that's pretty much it. So these indicators can help us out as well. And that's on the weekly. You know, if you look at the other chart that I had, there is the other slight possibility if I just hide this for a sec, that this could be a reversal. All right. Our A, B, C, so you can see perfectly how that became resistance, like really strong resistance, but it doesn't mean it's going to be permanent. We don't want to lose a 21 weekly moving or the daily moving average. So this is at the moment at a key level of support. We need to see it hold, because you can see this level here, really previous resistance. That was resistance, and once we broke it, and it's a daily resistance level. So we don't want to see that lose. If we lose that on the daily, we're going to come to this level for sure. And so it's very similar to what I said before. We get a Fibonacci. Just reverse that for a sec. There's the number of layers, and we use that on the. Yes, that will line up with the 618 roughly. So anyway, that's what I have. Now that we can have this play out as well, potentially. Yeah, where is it? So we can have this play out. The furthest I can see it going. If I reverse this, chuck that in. No, we'll do that. We've got these levels. If we're to break this level, so I don't see another attempt. The next attempt, I believe, it will break above. So if it comes up to this level, there's that slight possibility that it still comes back down again and then down. So we had that here. So we had a bit of a breakout, but that was a strong move. We need that strong move like that, real strong move, but I think it's late in the picture for that to happen. And you can see that 200 moving average, very much similar to that, getting rejection. So if we can break that 204-hour moving average, so that's 204-hour moving average, if we could break that, then we're going to be bullish. But that's going to be our way 3 to 4. It's still nothing. This is coming down, these daily 200 moving averages. If this is our way 3, if it is, then we have that potential to come up to here, around there, before it goes back down again. But having said that, we need to look at the other charts. Yeah. All right. I've pretty much done I spent enough time on that. Here's Matic. Let's see Matic. So Matic, you can see this accumulation structure. It did it. It was perfect. It fitted really right into this schematic. Really, it's just a bit of a weird one there. But anyway, and this was topping off. So I did short. I did sell. Got rid of my Matic. I did see this as a topping formation, and I do see this coming back down. How far down, I don't know. But if we're to do this, no, I've got to get rid of all these texts, don't I? So this does it look like what we have at the moment with Matic is it's still pretty good. We've got a low, we've got a higher low, and we could potentially have another higher low. Very deceptive at the moment, and it really comes down to Bitcoin, what Bitcoin does. So if this does play out, didn't quite get there, but I'm looking at this coming down further, and maybe finding support here. But if it drops, that's it. It's going to go bearish. At the moment, it's still difficult to see if this really depends on Bitcoin, what Bitcoin does. So this is more advanced than Bitcoin, but at the same time, we have our lines where if it drops below that line, it's pretty much going bearish, and a continued downward side. So that's Matic for me on a big picture perspective. I still feel like that's the bottom formation. I am still bullish with Matic, but I do want to see. Yeah, so the daily's it hasn't really closed much. This is 3 days. Sorry. Okay. Let's do the daily on this one. So Matic still looks good at the moment. Like I said, I'm pretty hopeful that the volume's pretty good. It's sort of dropped off a bit, not much. So we might just get some support here and go long. And that's my target there for Matic based on this structure. And if Bitcoin is doing a reversal, so this explains why Bitcoin dominance might drop. So if this breaks to the upside, and a lot of alts do, then Bitcoin dominance will drop while the alts keep going. So while Bitcoin goes sideways, the alts will probably rally. Solana is in the same boat. I'm looking to see if this holds. Well, this is the thing, you can't trust these lines. Just because I've got that line there, it doesn't mean it's really, that's just an initial assessment. This could be a bottoming formation like a wick-off structure as well. So just this could be down here and then back up and then up it goes. So this could be a bottoming formation for Solana, and it's at a good level. So it's 1.414 previous area of accumulation or continuation. So this could be a nice reversal, but I don't see it going too far. It could come back down real lot to there before we get the next move. So I'm looking at that at the moment. There's some structure to it, a broadening wedge, and then 1.618 is here. So it fits the Elliott wave count, and it sort of fits into Matic as well. I was looking at this EGDL. That's the Bitcoin version pairing. Sort of hit the target. So this might be a reversal, this level, or continuation. So it might just go up. And based on Bitcoin, it might just come back down here again to go back up. So the alts are very close to being dominant from what I see. AVAX is also doing a bottoming formation as well. So very, very similar. Could be a macro accumulation. I do feel like it's a bottoming formation. It has that potential to go down one more, but I don't think so. I think this is where it's going to find support. Comes down to this level. This might be a good entry to go long. Guys, I really do feel that could be a good entry to go long. It does feel like it's almost completed the wick-off structure. Don't have accumulation, do I? Let's see this one. That's not the one. There's another chart. No. No. Give me a sec, guys. I'll just filter it out. No. I had it though, but I don't know where it is. All right. Anyway, that's that one there. Yeah, let's look at anything else. That is a bit weird. It could probably go down more. It's not showing that strength. I thought it might go up, but it's not really showing it. So it might come back down more. I feel like that will come down a bit more. AV is really doing a reversal. And based on this structure, I think there's the current resistance level. This might be the main neckline. So it's broken the neckline. It's using a support. So I think AV is going to go. It's going to go higher. This looks like a reversal bottom, and I don't know if it will go that high though. That's the thing. But AV is looking bullish. FTM is pretty much in a similar boat. If it drops this level, it's gone and come down deep. So it might be a good shorting opportunity as well. Just might revisit double bottom before it goes up. FTM. Dot looks like, I don't know what dot looks like. It does look like accumulation, but there's that slight possibility if Bitcoin does bad. I have orders at this level. to go along with DOT. So I just place them there. But it might be that this is the level based on the bottom form, Fibonacci. So optimism. Don't know if this is going to hold. You might just go like that. But it's also possible to do that. It's a hard one, to tell the truth, because there's not much history. That's all there is to optimism. So it's not an easy one to work out. But at the moment, I feel like this is accumulation. I think if it comes down to this level, it's a good buy. And this is just a long-term accumulation at the moment. I'm looking at the RSI. It's dropped that level there, and that's why we're dropping. Yeah, I feel like it'll come back a bit deeper. And similar with Moonbeam. Moonbeam is looking weak, and this yellow line is pretty much acting as resistance. So it might come back down further. And if it loses this level, I do feel like it's going to come down. That's the next level, 50 cents, and potentially that's what I'm looking for to go long. I'm hoping it drops more, and that this area is a good buy, or averaging in anyway. So that's what I have for that. Ethereum. Ethereum is a bit weird. It shows strength and will shows weakness anyway. So it didn't hold that level. But it's a pretty much different structure to Bitcoin. This could be either, you can see that this was the main resistance. We have rejection here, rejection there. So this level of 1280 or whatever it is the main resistance. So we might just find another, hopefully we find another support along this line. It might come back out, but this all does fit. This all fits into a bottom formation as well, but it also fits into a bearish formation. So you can do that as well. So again, it's one of those things where we need to keep an eye on both charts. Long term wise, I do feel like Ethereum is getting close. I'm hoping it gets down to the 600 range, but this might be the bottom at the moment, the 1000, based on the 382 level. And based on this RSI at the moment on the weekly, it's showing, but we don't. This is a bit too delayed. There is crossover here, but I like to see this get above 50% before I feel like we're getting somewhere. Anyway, the smaller picture, this formation is what we need to look at. Otherwise, one more thing. Let's look at TrueBit. For those who also follow me on TrueBit, this is the weekly chart. It does show some weakness, and like the other coins, we're seeing that trend line, looking for that trend line to hold. If it drops, we've got that line there at the next level, and then potentially that level there as well. Ideally, this will be perfect to get into, and that if my strategy is, if it drops, I'll buy more and then buy more there. But these are big drops, by the way, so this might just go sideways until it finds a pivot. All right, so that's TrueBit as well, and pretty much done there. If you've got any questions, raise them now. Otherwise, I've been on for a while, haven't I? And hopefully help you guys out. Let's look at Bitcoin at the moment. What is it doing? And the other markets. Oh, US dollar's going up. Look at that. So if that's going up, that's going to push Bitcoin down a bit. 2 red candles isn't good. 2-day red candles usually means more down. Just like this, 2 red candles. These are pretty big candles as well. Slowing down, but might find some support. A lot of people think it's a bear flag, and at the moment I'm leaning towards a bear flag. Yeah, and like I said, the fact that this is going up, it's broken the one, so it's filling out the candle. It's not looking good for crypto at the moment. The US dollar going up. These guys are likely to drop as well. So just be patient. But there are some shorting opportunities. That was a good spot to short. Here you can't do much. It's in the middle, so I would wait. If you see a bounce and then you see on the smaller time frame this level here acting as resistance, I will find a shorting position because it's 1, 2, 3 all the way down. So that could be a position where you short. Look for the bounce. Okay, no questions. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up, and hopefully you have a good week, and I'll talk to you soon. If you have interest, come and join our. This is our Telegram, small number, and there's a bot that you can follow. It's automated, actually. If you go to, this is the bot. I'm going to copy that, and I'll paste it into the comments. If you're interested, you got 10 days for free. Come in. Whoa. Moderator won't let me do it. Geez, I can't post it in. So if I do this, how's that for you? That's probably better for Telegram. And our Discord, this is our Discord channel. There's a lot of stuff there. Actually, here's a few things for you guys. Look at that. When is it? July the 28th. That report's coming out. CPI on 13th of July. So we've got 2 days. 2 days for the CPI to come out. And what's this report? Okay, Fed. Okay, and the 26th and 27th. All right, there you go. If you're interested in coming here, you can join anytime. I'll also get that, copy it, paste it. Might not be able to paste it. That's the Discord channel. And it's in the comments section as well. So there you go. And I'm done. Okay. Actually, the last part, I forgot. Sorry, guys. For those newbies who haven't seen it before, it's my website. Over here, you can go to free course. I do one-on-one training. And you can do these are the elements you need to know on the training course. Or learn how to trade. You need to know these like seven elements. If you're comfortable with that, then you probably start learning some strategies. But if you're interested, go ahead. Don't register. Just